The number of children in the district who come from low-income households has increased significantly in the last 6 to 8 years. What educational philosophies or programs, if any, do you believe the district should use to address those challenges?
That was when I started the school board 3 years ago. That was the biggest revelation to me. Even up until being elected, I didn't realize that because it is confidential information, and that you really don't know about it, and so in the categorization, and we start to find out that we're averaging 30 to 40% low socioeconomic status kids in the district. All of a sudden, that awoke me, because I've been in this town for 34 years, and it's like I don't see my kids grow like other people that haven't seen them for a while, and you have to step back, and now you see that and you go, well, yes, the demographics are changing. Indeed, we've probably increased some in generational poverty, but we do have a large population in grad students and others that are on low income while they're attending college, and so we have a little difference in demographics, but there's really nothing you can do with it because, again, it's confidential. You don't want to tag a child as being in that category and have all kinds of assumed characteristics, because that's clearly not the case. So what we're doing, and as I mentioned before, by bringing the teachers together in the elementaries to talk about those kids that need additional challenges or need assistance, and working with programs and having now the academic coaches providing methods to help reach and instill some of these concepts and understandings, all of that is what we need to continue to do. And it's really the best approach to that, because it's not a problem of A, B, C, or D. It's looking at the whole and taking a child that's not in any of those categories but maybe struggling and giving them that assistance as well. So we don't want to just isolate it. So I think the district is doing that, and we're getting started with that, and we're in our second year of that. And I think it would be pretty hard to believe that if you went to any of the teachers, administrators in the school system, and clearly the board members, and you asked what are Dr. Taylor's 4 questions, we would all rattle off, what do you want the kids to learn, how are you going to teach them, what do you do if they succeed in accomplishing and learning that, and what do you do if they don't. That message has come across. He's done that in 1 year. He's brought that concept to us last year, and he's presented it over and over. And I would say that the entire district is engaging that and understanding that's really where we need to go. That's really what our focus is educating kids.
The district, both administrators and board members, have relied heavily upon legal and procedural advice from the Iowa Association of School Boards in the past. As you know, that group has come under fire recently for numerous things. What do you think should be the future relationship between the district and the IASB?
I've worked a lot with IASB, and we do have our own legal representation where we work with a legal firm to do what we want. We really don't take a lot of legal information from them. The benefits I see is they provide training in helping to get new and experienced board members up to speed on different things. They provide financial literacy types of school board finance types of seminars, and now they're dividing that into 3 levels, and I mean there's just so much to learn. And that education that they provide is pretty vital, and we've not engaged in much of that as we should have here. I've engaged in several of those personally, but and I found them very beneficial. The other function that it provides is all the school districts in the state contribute, and I've been the representative from our school board at the delegate assembly every year, and there's a list of 30 some resolutions and issues that are at the forefront of all the districts across the state, and we prioritize those, and then they serve as our lobbying representatives, and they communicate very heavily with us. Once you're engaged, anybody can, they communicate very heavily with you and tell you what's going on and what progress is being made and what decisions have been made. And of course, as with everything else, you're encouraged to contact your legislator and communicate with them on various things. And it's amazing because I'll send a question in the middle of the day And Mary Gannon will be sitting in a session somewhere and with her iPhone or whatever, and I get a response right back, or I'm in session now, I'll get back to you this evening, and they always do. So they provide a real vital communication and a service in focusing that, because imagine if all 360 some school districts across the state had to send a lobbyist down there and try and organize and do all that. That'd be very difficult to do. And we're affecting a lot of lives, a lot of kids, a lot of families, a lot of teachers, and so forth. And it is important to have a voice down there and to have a method of contributing to the priorities, a method of communicating and helping to do those things. Also, you know, I encourage the board this year to give them another chance because they now are under new leadership. And Tom Downs has come in, he retired from Southeast Polk as superintendent. He's now taken it by the horns, if you will. And they've also hired a new financial person, and both of them are really aggressively going around, actively communicating on items weekly. I get a weekly email from them as to what their activities have been, and they're really trying to rebuild and bring back the trust that always was there, and that was lost under the previous administration. So they do serve an excellent function in this state, and with over half of the school board, a majority of school board member positions are up for re-election this year because they've changed from voting every year to every 2 years. So now, if all of those seats were to turn over, there's a tremendous amount of brand new school board members that are going to need some guidance in how you get going and what to expect and what to do. And you know, we've even come back to saying maybe we need to do some more learning at the board table besides the things we need for decision making. We just need to be talking about books and things like that. And that's part of what ISB in their introduction of how to be a good school board member, that's part of what they talk about doing, is you have to be an example for learning as a board table and discussions. So I'm sure we'll proceed that. I'll pursue that again this year.
So what do you think?